Boys, I cannot believe that shit just happened. The Saints scored 38 points in a football game and won. Now, the defense, we're going to talk about the defense. I did not like what I saw from the defense, especially for the second half. They got it together a little bit, but the first half of the defense that was bad. But anyway, the Saints score. They win the game against the Indianapolis Colts, 38-27, get their record back up to 4-4, and the Falcons, I think, are playing right now. We're going to find out what happened. They're playing the Tennessee Titans right now. I have no idea what the score is. I think they were losing, but I'm not quite sure right now. But as of right now, we're going to be tied with the Atlanta Falcons for first place in the division if they lose to the Titans. If not, the Falcons will be a game ahead. But this was a big win. The offense showed up early. They gave you 21 points in the first half. They finished with 38 points. They could have had 42 at the end of the game if they weren't just running the clock out. But okay, the final score of the Titans game, Titans and Falcons, the Falcons lose 23-28. So the Saints are now tied for first place with the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC South. That's fucking huge. Anyway, Derek Carr in this game. Now, a lot of y'all are going to be commenting on this video saying, oh, I told you about Derek Carr. I knew Derek Carr was him. No, y'all didn't, bro. Y'all were literally flaming Derek Carr just as much as I was. Because last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, besides the fourth quarter, Derek Carr was absolute fucking butt juice. He was terrible. Now, in this game, I'm not going to lie. In this game, Derek Carr was excellent. He had a few missed reads. He had that one really bad throw to Olave on third down. And the play right before that, Olave dropped a wide open touchdown. We're going to talk about Chris Olave. I got some shit to say about Chris Olave. But for the most part, Derek Carr played really good in this game. Rashid Shaheed, holy shit. We saw another play towards the end of this game when it was it was like 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, something like that. And then Derek Carr threw yet another 40, 50-yard deep bomb to Rashid Shaheed. We saw that early in the season against the Titans to seal the game, against the Panthers to seal the game, late in the fourth quarter in both of those games. Rashid Shaheed comes up big again. He had a fucking insane stat line today. It was like 3 catches for like 150 yards and a touchdown, which is ridiculous. Rashid Shaheed, I mean, we have 3 really good wide receivers right now, which is insane. I love Rashid Shaheed. The fact that he was literally an undrafted free agent, and we just picked him up. Like, I remember going to training camp, heading in, like, before the 2022 season. I went to training camp that year, and I saw number 89, Shaheed, and he was, like, one of the only players that I looked at, and I said, I have no idea who the fuck this guy is. And he's insane. His speed is insane. Like, he had a 58-yard touchdown in the second quarter of this game. It was crazy. The offense was firing on all cylinders. They showed a stat today that said this is the first time the Saints have had 400-plus yards of total offense in 3 straight games since that crazy stretch in 2018 when they beat the Rams, they beat the Bengals, and they beat the Eagles. They scored 45 points against the Rams. They scored 51 against Cincinnati, and they scored 48 against Philly. Now, we all know this offense does not remotely compare to 2018. The 2018 team was historical, and we're going to be looking at that forever. But the fact that the Saints are moving the football, and today they converted in the red zone. The Saints were 3 for 3, or they didn't finish 3 for 3 technically because they kicked a field goal at the end of the game. But the Saints were like 3 of 4 or 4 for 5 in the red zone today. That was fucking huge. You saw the Saints actually utilize the run game in the red zone. We saw Taysom Hill get a 20-yard rushing touchdown. We saw Alvin Kamara running a Texas route in the red zone that got him a touchdown. Fucking insane. And Kamara had another rushing touchdown later on in the game. Rashid Shaheed had that deep passing touchdown. I mean, fucking just great offense today. Besides, Derek Carr had a really bad fumble early on in the game. But Derek Carr was good. Derek Carr, you win this week. I'm still not a Derek Carr fan. I'm really not. But we're not going to go into that too much this week because obviously we should be optimistic by the fact that Derek Carr actually looked good and the Saints offense looked good. Now, the defense. In the first half, that was insane. That was so bad. The first half of the defense today was so bad. The run defense, letting Jonathan Taylor do whatever he wants, letting Zach Moss do whatever they want, letting fucking Michael Pittman run wide open. I mean, Lattimore was getting beat. Lattimore's been great this season, and I know it's to the point now where Lattimore allows like 3 catches for 30 yards, and people say Lattimore got cooked. But the defense was not good in the first half at all. Now, the second half, there was a huge play in the game that really felt like it sealed it for us, and that was the Paulson Adebo interception. I'd right about the 2-yard line, like right before they scored a touchdown, and then he ran like 30. The fact that he kept running was huge because he definitely could have just gotten down or gotten tackled on a 2-yard line, and that possession would have gone nowhere. But he got back up and he ran 30 yards. That was fucking huge. And then the Saints, I'm pretty sure, scored a touchdown on that drive. I don't exactly remember, but great win. Derek Carr had 300 plus passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He did have a fumble. We saw Carl Granderson come up huge in the second half too. I think he had a fucking Isaiah Foskey had a strip sack which got returned for a touchdown by the Saints. He got called back, but he made his presence felt. I forgot Isaiah Foskey was on the team. Because we haven't seen shit from him all year or even in the preseason. So that was pretty fucking interesting. And then the defense was good in the second half overall. They allowed a fucking crazy touchdown to number 85 on the Colts. I don't remember what his name was, but there were 2 defenders there. And it was a 50-yard pass. It was insane. The defense should not have allowed that type of play at the end of the game. I was worried that when the Saints were up 35-20, that I was getting flashbacks of the Packers game. I was getting flashbacks of the Bucs game last year. I did not trust it, but the offense found a way to finish it off and move our record up to 4-4. We got the Chicago Bears at home next week. I don't know if we're going to play that Tyson Bagent dude or whatever the backup Bears quarterback is, or if we're going to be playing Justin Fields. I think it's likely Justin Fields comes back for that game. It's obviously going to be a huge difference if Justin Fields is playing. Because that offense, we have seen that Bears offense ramp up a little bit. But you got a favorable stretch of games still. I believe for the Vikings, we play the Vikings week 10. Kirk Cousins got injured today. I heard he got carted off. I don't know how bad it is. I don't even know who the Vikings backup quarterback. I think maybe Nick Mullins or something. I'm not sure. And they don't have Justin Jefferson either. You got a favorable stretch of games coming up. You got the Bears at home. You go at the Vikings, which you can definitely win that game. And then you got a bye week. So you got to lock in, win these next 2 games, or at least win one of them. Because, you're 4-4 and you're tied for first place. It's right in front of you. If the offense could actually start to get consistency, and this is what this is about. It's cool that the Saints offense scored 38 points in a football game and won. It looked really good. But we got to see them do it consistently because we know how talented these guys are. We know how talented this offense is. We know what this coaching staff can make these guys. But we just haven't seen it yet. So we got to see it consistently. I need to see it against the Chicago Bears and against the Minnesota Vikings. And then I'll actually start to believe that these guys can come out here and do it consistently. But as of right now, I'm still not sold on Derek Carr. I'm sorry. And Chris Olave, we're talking about Chris Olave. I don't know what your fucking problem is, dude. But you got to catch these passes. There's just been this PFF stat going around saying that Chris Olave has the most targets in the NFL without a drop. That is bullshit. He dropped 2 passes against the Jaguars. He dropped a couple of passes against the Patriots, one of those being a fucking touchdown. And then he also dropped a wide open touchdown today that would have basically made the game not close. And he dropped it. That was terrible. Now, he did have an okay game overall. I think he had 5 catches, 50 yards maybe at the end of the game. But he's so talented, and he's capable of so much more than what he's showing. And it's disappointing. It really is. Because as of right now, I think Michael Thomas and Rashid Shaheed are both outplaying Chris Olave. And that's unacceptable. Especially with the way Chris Olave started off the season. Having those, he had 3. He was 5th in the NFL in receiving yards after week 3. And then he had 2 duds, week 4, week 5. And it's just... Now, I don't know. I have to look at the film to see if he was quitting on routes again today. I didn't see any bad plays where it looked like he was quitting on a route today, but that's been a problem with Olave, and I hope Olave can get his shit together. But if Rashid Shaheed's playing like this, we're going to be all right. And Michael Thomas, he had the fucking flu today, or he was sick. He had some sort of sickness. And in the first half, he came out and was dominant. He was on pace for a 100-yard game early on. He didn't quite get that, but he looked really good today. He's still been one of the most consistent receivers in the NFL for us. So that was really good. Kamara had a great game. I didn't even talk about him that much, but y'all know Kamara had 2 really crazy touchdowns. We know Kamara. He's still in his prime. I knew everyone was saying Kamara was washed after last year because he turned 27 and he didn't have that good of a season. But he's insane right now. Y'all are wrong. Whoever the fuck thought that he is washed, he's clearly not. Now, it's been about 10 minutes already, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. But great win for the Saints. I'm not buying into it yet. I'm not saying this is who the Saints are now. I got to see it consistently. But great win. I'm very fucking happy, and I will be enjoying every moment of this win. Because when Dennis Allen's your head coach, these can be hard to come by. So I'm going to enjoy this win. And we got the Chicago Bears up next. So We'll see what happens. I'll see y'all next week for the Bears game. Thank y'all for watching. See y'all next week.